Should be. Yep.
Okay, we were jamming out to T Swift to get ready. These are the vibes for Launchless. If you guys have some favorite sunglasses that you want to go rock to get into, the vibes of you are the hottest thing on your audience's feed, then I invite you to. I'm wearing my new birthday ones. But we're going to give it a minute for everybody to log on. There's about 60 of us registered for this. So we'll do everything together live here. Zoom isn't letting me stream into Dominate. If you guys are Dominate people, I'll just upload it to your portal. And if you are exclusively a Launchless person, you will get the replay sent in a link to your email tonight. So Dominate people, if you have to leave early, no big deal. It'll be in your portal. And everybody else, you'll get the replay. You'll have lifetime access to this. I am so excited. I'm going to give it a few minutes just so people can jump in. Is the third party thing finally kicked in? No, it just didn't. It couldn't find Dominate. It was gonna let me stream live to my regular Facebook, like my profile. It just wouldn't show me groups. So I don't know. We're just rolling with it. Who's excited? I'm excited. I am pumped. I'm ready to go. This is going to be amazing. We're gonna share my screen. Yay, Joe's excited. I am so wild and I love it. I'm thoroughly enjoying the wildness, and I'm going to teach with these on until they get annoying, and I will probably take them off, but it was fun while it lasted. Will somebody drop a comment? Just say anything so I can see that comments are here, and I can pull my little comment box up. Perfect. Amazing. Okay. Now, what I'm going to have you guys do is vibe in the comments below. If this is your first time doing a workshop with me, welcome. What we love to do is set our intention, because you could take in all of this information and it wouldn't do us any good if we don't set an intention. So set your intention below. Let me know why you're here. Let me know what you want to receive, what you want to gain out of this. And we're going to go from there. So I'm going to let everybody pop in. What's your intention? Why are you here? What do you want to get out of this workshop? What do you want to feel? We're going to kick it off with that. I'm going to let everybody hop in. There's people in the waiting room still just getting their tech stuff. Launch with excitement for 2024 and high vibe energy. Too many to count. First and foremost, the shades. Thank you. When everybody logged on, I told them that this is how we're teaching today. This is how we should show up in your audience. Like, you are like the hottest tamale in their feed, and there's nobody else. You're just in your little magnetic bubble. Ready to figure out how to plan the launches and be able to hold the energy for the launch. Amazing. We love this. Okay. Yes. Here we go. Full screen, Launchless. So this is what we're diving into, is creating a marketing plan that provides you with motivation, not burnout. Burnout is not welcome here. You don't actually have to hate launching. It doesn't have to be this big, long, drawn out thing, and it doesn't have to be terrible. Intention here is to create a marketing plan that works for me and isn't just cookie cutter. I love that, Erica. All right, so let's dig in. Let's talk launching. What's it make you feel in your body? And this is a workshop, which means I'm going to cater to your guys' energy. So respond along in the comments. This isn't just a lecture. So I want to know, what does the word launching make you feel in your body when I say that? And then what thoughts come up? So if you see me talking about, we're going to make a launch plan, we're going to launch something this week. What are you launching? Who are you launching to? What are the physical reactions in your body? And then what is your mindset around it? What are the thoughts? I'm going to read some intentions to get comfy, showing up consistently, authentically as possible. I love that. Intention is to gain the knowledge to improve my launches and get my energy to match it. Yes. Okay, so when you hear the word launching, we've got excitement and a little feeling. We've got overwhelmed, excited, and tired. In my body, it's excited in my heart center, and then a little sinking in my gut. Oh, these are good, you guys. We're going to dive into each one of these. It makes me excited, and then it makes me think, now what? And that is something that I see all of the time, is people are like, sure, launching sounds fun. And then I get like halfway through and I'm like, where do I go? What do I do next? I've already done this. Crystal says, exhausted today, can change on a dime. Most inspiration comes in the shower. Yes. we were talking about this in behind the scenes today of like, if writing content feels hard because all your ideas come in the shower, just voice record it and then listen back to your voice recording later when you're at your computer. I get so excited for the idea and then I freeze or I fail to launch entirely. So, what we first want to do is, you guys know I'm very into mindset and strategy. So, we're going to dig into the mindset portion of this first, and then we're going to get into the strategic steps of how you can learn how to launch for you, not for me, not do what I do because I'm a weird specimen who likes to go, go, go on my own thing. You and your brain, how does it work for you? That's what we're untangling today. So identifying what it makes you feel in your body and what thoughts come up, whether it makes you feel heavy and like, oh, I'm going to fail, I don't want to do this, or if it rejuvenates you and you're like, yes, let's go, launch time. I love launching. It's my favorite thing in business. And this is why we're going to demystify launching, because so many people, I hear all the time, I'm burnout on launching. Really? Are you sure? Because launching is just marketing. I want you to sit with that for a minute. Literally, launching is just marketing. If you are an entrepreneur, you are launching something every single day, whether it be an idea, whether it be a promotion you've already been talking about for the last week. Launching is marketing, and it is your duty as an entrepreneur to market, to sell your services. It's literally your job to sell your services. Otherwise, you would just be an artist, but you decided to be a business owner and an artist. Launching isn't this big, scary thing. It's quite literally putting your ideas into the eyes of your audience. So it doesn't mean you have to make a promotion. A launch does not have to be a discounted offer.
No.
So in your mind, if you're equating launching to discounting something, let's flip that. A launch is simply just putting your offer out there. Does that make sense? Some thumbs up, some shaking. And that's a big like thing that we see is we equate launching to, well, I've got to do a last minute opening. I've got to launch a model call. You could literally just be launching your remaining dates in your calendar. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be drawn out. It can, and that works. There's a time and place for both. So launching is just another type of marketing. So when you reframe that in your mind, how does that feel if you look at it that way? Joe says, I've really learned to love launching. I love to launch. I'm so excited for my ideas. I know they're good, but if I get crickets, I'm immediately losing some of that excitement and I cock block myself. I needed to hear that. I always think of it as a sale. Love that much better. This right here, it's literally just reframing the way we think about launching. It's just marketing what you already have. It doesn't put any extra pressure and taking the pressure off of this launch. So here's your other reminder. We are not a one and done business. So maybe you have an income goal for the month of April and you're going to launch like a end of the month sale or something. If you don't hit that goal, it means nothing about your business. It's fine because you're not a one and done. We are in the business of longevity. And I say this all the time because we forget you are here for compounded results, not just one launch and drop it. So it's all about averages. If this one doesn't live up to your expectations, which on the next slide, we're going to get into expectations, that's fine because we are here for the longevity. How many of you hate launching or it puts pressure on you because you try to put all your eggs in that one launch basket and you're like, I got to sell this out. I got to do this or else I'm a failure. You put all that pressure on your one model call, your one guinea pig session, whatever it may be. So then it does suck the fun out of it. You are a creative person. You're not just a creative photographer. I want you to realize this. You get to bring that inspiration, that art, that creativity into your marketing. You're not only creative, you're not just creative in the studio. And I think a lot of us forget that you are a creative person in general and your marketing gets to be that way. It becomes exhausting because your mindset is like, oh, I suck. Here we go. I got to launch something else. You're going to get into this and launch archetypes because you're trying to do things the way that other people are instead of finding a flow that works for you. And that's why we have Launch Less today. That's why this was created. I think because I used to sell out 10 sessions a week in a model call, and now I get 1 or 2. It's just a shift of getting the next client and not the next year of clients. Exactly. 2019, sure, pop up a Black Friday sale, everybody's buying. Easy. Newsflash, things have shifted. It's different. So instead of booking everybody all at once, just get your next 2 or 3, get your next 4, and move on to something else. Have fun with it. It doesn't have to feel like a burnout. It simply just shifts. Buyer behavior shifts. It's the same as the stock market. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. So does your audience. They will buy in different ways. And it's up to you to pivot with them. Or you can stay stuck like Polly. And we're going to meet Polly later on in the workshop. And Polly is not a fun place to be, but some people are stuck there. But if you are Polly, it's okay. If you saw my Facebook post today, you got a sneak peek of that. Things have shifted and the way I show up has shifted. And I'm offering things so much more often. Yes, you're simply just giving people more of an opportunity to say yes because you have different types of buyers in our feed versus what we had and who we were marketing to in 2020, 2021. So, launching, demystified. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing pressure filled. It's simply showing up. And instead of launch, I want you to think of like rocket ship, propelling, trampoline jumping your ideas out into your audience. Simply reframing like, oh, I got to launch something. Like, no, you just have to show up. There you go. That's so much easier. You show up every day on social media anyways. It might as well be with intention and a solid offer. So let's go into the launching woes. Look, here's the woes on Caleb's face. He's going to be our woes. They're trying to creep in. And you're just going to have a solid face of like, you can't get to me. I'm a bad bitch. Don't distract me, ego. Don't distract me, fear. I'm here. And then there she is. You are working your things, doing what you need to do. I just really wanted to use these pictures and it worked as a great visual because he does look like he's just trying to like creep in and distract. And I'm like, no, we're being productive. And this is what happens. I want you to picture Caleb as the fears and the expectations. So the reason we have these thoughts and beliefs around launching and our mindset is like, is because we're afraid, right? You're afraid that you'll put this effort and this energy into creating something and then you won't book. What are your fears with launching? So of course that you spend all this time and energy and nobody books and then you consider that a flop. It's not a flop. It's data. It's like, okay, cool. I did an adrenaline based sale and it didn't work. Maybe that tells me my audience is now nurture based. Every launch, every offer, every creation that you make is simply data for yourself because we need to be analyzing this. If you're not launching anything and you're simply just posting like, hey, buy my sessions, you don't have any data to compare what's working and what's not. And part of being an entrepreneur in today's day and age is recognizing that you need the data to compare. You've got to try new things to figure out what's working. If not, you're going to be stuck in the cycle of like, nothing works. I'm doing all of the things. You're not doing all of the things. We're trying one thing over and over again and expecting results without changing the components. Okay. So if we can break through the launching woes and realize that there is no fear to not book anything, because like worst case scenario, you plan something, it doesn't work, you move on to the next thing. That wasn't your end all be all. And the timeliness of like, oh, I'm burnout on the timing. Your launch archetype is going to show you. You're going to figure out what works best for you. You're going to have a template that you can just copy and paste and switch up the wording. You don't have to create all of your forms every time. You don't have to create the consult call calendar every time. This comes down to basic like business foundations. So if you are like, oh, I'm burnout from launching because I have to do all of this back end work, that's a sign that we need to get our back end in order. We don't have to recreate our business every time we launch. Show of hands, or you can drop a comment, whichever, if your camera's not on. Who feels a little distant to launching because it feels like a lot of work? Like you have to create all these forms, you have to create all of these like booking things. It feels messy. It just feels like work. If you can create a template, yeah, Ria's got her hand fused. Thank you. Exactly. If you can create a template that you just plug and play your different positioning and your different ideas, it does become so much easier. Yeah, Erica says that's me. So work on building the systems of your launch so that you have it, it's done once, you can shift when needed. So maybe you're like, Kira, I don't have fear. I'm super cool with, only booking one and moving on to the next thing or not booking anything. Like, I understand buyer behavior analysis. I'm not afraid of that. But do you fall victim to expectations? So how many of you are like, cool, I'm not afraid to just get one, but maybe I'm a little disappointed because in my head I told myself I wanted 5 or I wanted 20. Me, even though I have a good template, stuff feels like it's hard. I just reuse mine and tweak them, but the graphics kill me. I'm such a perfectionist. Sigh, I have tons of them, but rush through and make mistakes. Oh yeah, my ego gets damaged easy. So the graphics, we're gonna borrow our dominate module here. Progress, not perfection. Nobody in your audience is perfect. Your graphics don't have to be perfect. We know this. One time I launched an entire round of Dominate with the wrong dates this past round for April. We had like an $80,000 launch or something crazy, and it said it starts January 8th. And somebody was like, here, it's April. Yes, I know. Okay. Still, people understand it doesn't have to be perfect. One time I spelled photographer wrong in a session graphic. Let yourself be relatable. Let yourself have mistakes. Get the main idea out there and go for it. It is okay. My ego's a sneaky little bee. It is. Everybody's is. I'm rewiring to celebrate the fails too because everything is all learning. Celebrate one booking, every single one. Exactly. Releasing the perfection is tough for a lot of people because whatever it may be, maybe it was your childhood, maybe it was a partner situation, maybe it was just the pressure of being like an accelerated child and only receiving love and admiration because you were so over the top and amazing. This comes back to self-love. Like, we can't shame our way into success. We can't shame our way and guilt our way into success. We have to love ourselves into success. This was not part of the workshop, but it's so good. It's planned and correlates well. How can you love your imperfections? How can you love yourself enough to go for it? How can you love yourself enough and trust yourself enough to say, you know what? I understand that if I'm here to scale my business, sometimes that means doing it messy, and that's fine. Now, I'm not saying don't plan out your launches. Definitely plan out your launches, and I'm going to show you how based on which archetype you are. But don't slow yourself down and delay your launch because you're waiting for it to be perfect, because something will always happen. Something will always happen. Retrograde will happen and your computer will stop working. Somebody told me the other day, they were like, Kira, this is all fine and dandy, but XYZ happened to my family member, to my relationship. My kid is sick. My boyfriend broke up with me. My wife divorced me. There's always going to be something, you guys. Life will always life. There will always be an excuse, which is why we build the foundations and get comfortable with launching now. If you can get comfy with it now while things are mundane or whatever, maybe you're in the thick of it right now, then you're prepared when shit hits the fan. Shit will never stop hitting the fan. It's just part of our human experience. So that's not an excuse. You can't say, well, I didn't do this time because, last year, my biggest example was my brother-in-law died, Caleb's brother. 27, tragically passed away at work, and like our whole business had to take a hiatus. That was my biggest learning lesson of, wow, I'm so glad you moved through your limiting beliefs and all your shit here 3 months prior and set up the systems and the foundation you have, because sometimes life just lives and you have to pause. So set your systems up, get comfortable launching, get comfortable pivoting, get comfortable showing up outrageously with so much fun and creative juices in your marketing so that you can move forward. So, expectations. I don't even like zero expectations for this launch and instead match your frequency. I'm a frequency to soulmate clients, to people who love me, to people who are obsessed with me. And if that means they book now, absolutely yes. But I am not going to let the disappointment sneak in because of a made up number. What if your goal was to book 3 people, but the universe was trying to send you 10 and you were so clinchy buttholed on 3 that you're blocking all of these others? So managing your expectations and managing your fear. Before you launch anything, let's get our mindset in check and remember that launching is simply showing up, and selling what you have to offer, even if it's just normal boudoir, and then recognizing that if somebody doesn't book, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It means you have an unlimited amount of ideas in your head that you can tap back into, and then managing expectations. I don't have expectations, I have standards. So I'm a standard I have a standard that my clients read everything, that I am, aligning to a frequency of people who are delighted and joyful to spend thousands of dollars with me. And I am not expecting people to book 10 and then attract like 10 people who didn't read. They think the session fee includes all the digitals. Can you feel the difference between that? Standards versus expectations. You just raise your vibration, you raise your content, you raise your marketing to attract a level of people who know that they're ready for you. And this means showing up consistently. And this means doing the work, like making the forms and planning the content and understanding how you want to launch, which is what we're about to get into. Yeah, clench your butthole. That'll be like the biggest thing in business is like if you feel yourself like this, there is no room for abundance to flow in. If you can relax all bits and pieces of you, look at how much space there is. Everybody's an energetic being. We all have different atoms just buzzing around us. If we are this tight, there is no space for clients to come in. If you can relax and have fun in business, look at all that space for future clients to roll in. All right. Are you guys ready for your launch archetype? My question is, which one are you? So I'm going to go through the next 5 slides, and this is going to be like the key. This is the best part of the workshop. You want to pay attention. You want to dive into this. And I want you to comment when you hear something that resonates with you. Now, we are identifying who you are right now, not who you want to be in the future, not who you want to be after this workshop, but who you are right now, okay? So there's going to be 5 different archetypes, and you can say, okay, like this one kind of sounds like me. You can say, yes, absolutely, I'm this one. You can say, I'm a mix of this and this. But as we go through, I want you to mark it in the comments who you are, what feels like you, and this is going to help you understand a plan, okay? Glasses are coming off. I gotta see you guys. Okay. Hi, I'm the gardener. So this is launch archetype number 1. This is our gardener. If you are a gardener, you are a nurturer. You like a slow and steady launch. You like things drug out a little bit. Maybe you're launching the same thing for 2 or 3 weeks. It gives you time to nurture your clients. It gives you time to do lots of storytelling in your marketing. You are comfy talking about the same thing over and over again because it gives you practice and you can really build upon that. You're basically like planting the seed of your launch and helping it grow, helping that flower bloom all the way up. You love systems. You love a marketing map. Like you could map out your next few marketing options really, really in depth, like months in advance. You have them planned out. Maybe your marketing map is finished for the next 6 months because you know the harvest season, you know when the crops are going to grow. You are a heavy planner. That's the gardener. So you may already be planning your Black Friday special right now. Joe says, "God, I wish this was me." This is definitely not me, but there are people who thrive. I see, if you guys know your human design, I feel like projectors are very much the gardeners. They like to nurture. They like to have that thorough time. Stephanie says, "I need a marketing map." Krista says, "Goals, but not for me." That's the thing. You can also identify what you're not. So who here heard me say this and you're like, "Oh, I absolutely hate drawing things out and doing like a super planned thing, yet you're launching something for 3 weeks." Okay, here's your wake up call. Use what you're not to identify who you are. I see so many people out here, they're like, "I'm so tired of talking about this. I don't want to prep for 6 weeks in advance for Black Friday." Then why? Why are you stretching this out if it's not going to serve your energy? Not me, not me. I love a marketing map, but it's literally launch to launch. Same, I try to plan, but then when I get there, I'm like, that doesn't feel good. I can't hold my energy that long either. So the key to getting comfortable with launching is learning how to harness your energy, and that's what these archetypes are going to take you. Devaney says, I'm a nurturer, though. There's another one, Devaney, that makes me think of you, and it has like nurturing qualities. I'll call you out if you don't qualify yourself for it first. Taylor says, I think this is me. Sometimes I do love to plan and prep and think every aspect through, and I'm a projector. Taylor, that sounds exactly who I had in mind then. It was like, you love to plant the seed. You love to think things through. You're not going to whip up a flash sale overnight. That does not feel like your jam. That would cause stress. That would cause like body panic. So number one is our gardener. Hi, I'm the one night stand. And this is Kiara through and through. This is the easiest way to give you guys this archetype is like, watch me launch. I'm fast, shifts and puts it into motion. I get an idea and I get it out the same day. That couples sale that we did last week, I thought of that the night before, had everything planned and scheduled, mapped out the next day, and we booked 6 spots. I didn't hype them. I didn't tell them what to do. The equivalent of this is like mic drop an offer, leave the room and plan your next thing. Like I'm in, I'm out, I drop it and I go. So where are my manifesting generators? Where are my like creative, chaotic ADHD people in here who are just like, I need the next thing? This is me. I'm a huge one night stander, which is funny because that's how I met Caleb. I met him on Tinder. He was supposed to be a one night stand, but I just never went home. I just stayed forever and ever. And now we live happily ever after. But my marketing, my launching archetype is the one night stand. Joe says this is probably me. This is me. No process, time to process, hit and run. Crystal says sometimes I do this and it mostly flops. Crystal, this is perfect. So this is what we want to identify. Are you guys trying to be a one night stand, but then it flops and there's no success on the other side? That gives me an indication that you're not really a one night stand, but you're somebody else, and that's coming up next. I think that's who I wanted to be, but it's not. I'm sometimes a one night stand and sometimes a gardener. I would love to be this, but no, that phase was in the early 30s of my life. So for me, the reason that one night stand resonates is because my ideas come so fast, and it really does. Like if you guys know your human design, it kind of correlates. It's like I have so many ideas that I don't want to just stay stuck on something. I get bored. And I would get so bored if I was a gardener that I would stop showing up. So if a gardener tried to do something like a one night stander, they would get so overwhelmed in the details that they probably wouldn't even launch because they're like, no, I haven't had time to plan this out yet. I haven't had time to nurture my audience into this yet. I feel a little like a one night stand, but it's usually when I have something else going on. So I feel like I can't just drop something like this. Yeah, I'm a Manny-gen through and through. Joe says, yep, this feels like me. Yeah, I think, Joe, you would lean with this. And one night stands, here's the key, you guys. So if you are a one night stand, so the gardener, we love our marketing maps. The one night stand marketing maps make me want to puke. I will make them for you guys all day long. But if you give me a marketing map, I am going to get so clinchy butthole because I feel like it's structure. I feel like I have to do it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing June 15th. I have no idea. And then the expectation and the fear comes in. I feel like I've let myself down. So if you are a one night stander, I would not try to plan your months in advance because by the time that rolls around, you're probably onto your next idea. And then you're like, wow, bitch, you didn't even follow through. You wasted all this time making a marketing map and now you want to do something else. And it looks like you're letting yourself down, but you're actually just trying to conform to somebody else's way of marketing and it's not your own. So the downfall of one night standers is you get so caught up that you pull out too soon. So you'll drop something. Maybe you do a 1-day flash sale, but you'll drop it in the morning and you won't follow through in the hyperaction or in the marketing. So even if you are a one night stander, you can't just make one post and dip out. So last week we launched that couples model call. It was like a 2-day sale, which I ended up cutting it to 1 day because I was over it. But I showed up. I think there were so many different touch points. I was sending emails. I was in the Facebook group. I was bumping old. So one night stand is giving it your all. for that one launch and not just posting and ghosting. So there is the little slip through that one night standards do. You get so excited, but you pull out too fast and you don't. You don't follow up and you don't do the nurturing. One night stand people still need nurturing. If somebody has people in their house or studio with them right now and they just heard that, they would be like, "What are you guys doing right now? Like, what are you listening to?" I think that's why it's to launch to me because it works. We meet, and if it's like this, it's done. Yeah, that was our conversation today. Rhea says, "Oh shit, I resonate with that. The feeling of being let down. The pull-out method is safe. It's how we only have one kid. For 9 years, it's been safe. Who knows? I'm a generator. I definitely do this. I get excited and I dip out for the next thing. That. So you have to be able to harness the energy long enough to give it your all, okay? So let's look at the surfer. Hello, I'm the surfer. They need to manage when they launch. So you have ideas, you want to nurture them, but you're launching because somebody else told you to. Somebody else told you that it was a full moon, so you should just launch because retrograde and whatever else, and you did a model call 3 months ago, so now's the time to launch. You're following somebody else's marketing calendar, and it feels uncomfortable. The surfer likes to have permission to change. You don't have to be on a time commitment. So sometimes you are the gardener on a long launch, and sometimes you are the one night stand on a short launch. Okay. It depends on which wave you're riding. You like the stretched out launch sometimes because you can just ride the wave. You're kind of in tune with the elements, a little hippie, a little free flowing. But your key to success is understanding your go times and your rest times. So if if the gardener was too slow and too nurturing, you might be the surfer where you can drop a quick launch if you're in go time, but you also honor your hibernation mode where you're just sitting on the beach and you're in rest. So who feels like the surfer? Daphne, yeah. This one, Daphne, is what I felt like was you. There's also one more that might be like you. Andrea, maybe you. Yeah, Andrea, when you're in go mode, like you're going. Rhea says, I'm a surfer through and through. Felicia says, this might be me. Crystal says, maybe. I need that rest time. Maybe me, or maybe the one night stand. Okay. Not necessarily on someone else's timeline, but totally just going with the flow. So the surfer's an in between. And the biggest downfall is that you haven't not that you haven't understood your go time and rest time, but you feel resistance. Like you are still launching on a rest time because there's some scarcity locked in. Even though you know that your body is telling you to stop, you push through anyways. So the biggest success builder, the biggest momentum builder for the surfer is to going with your body's flow, is to truly being in tune when you're on your cycle or when you have a hectic personal life. Surfer is you got to be able to flow, but also don't just get stuck out in the middle of the ocean and try to push through when we're supposed to be waiting. Okay. This is a bit me too. I rocked my guinea pig small launch, lots of hyperaction, but still thought out. I need to rest, but I definitely follow my inspiration. Erica says, okay, maybe this is a bit like me. I'll have to see if there's something else that speaks to me. I've got a few more. And like I said, you might be a mix of a few. So that's the surfer. You've got ups and downs. We just have to really navigate when to launch and be okay and comfortable with resting. All right, the dandelion. Hello, I'm the dandelion. I'm a floater. You're just out here doing things. You thrive with cash injections. So the quick little launches that are like, ooh, flash sale. Ooh, 5 model call applications. I've got it. So when you have a good idea, it hits. When you feel it, you go. You're super magnetic. People love you, but you need to make some plans. You need to scale your business. So I was a dandelion from like 2015 to 2022. I was just floating. Things were easy. I'm magnetic. People love to talk to me. People love to book with me. And then buyer behavior shifted. And I was like, oh, fuck, I actually need a business plan. and I had to plant the roots and realize that I am a one night stand and I can shift fast, because sometimes the dandelion feels some guilt, like, oh, I'm not doing things like so and so, or oh, I'm switching too much, or I'm not doing enough, or oh, this flopped. The dandelion is good. You know how to make money. You can make money. You don't really know what your plan is. You're quite literally just floating through the wind. And sometimes it feels like you just got lucky. You lucked your way into success instead of having an actual business plan to scale. Does anybody resonate with this one? Crystal says, I think I may be more of a surfer than I thought, but I don't listen to myself sometimes. That's the crystal, or that's the crystal. That's the surfer's biggest downfall, is you don't listen to your body. You don't listen to yourself. So you're pushing against the waves, and it's like this hate love relationship with marketing. Okay, Felicia says, ooh, this might actually be me. Well, I'm definitely super magnetic. I'm a one night stand. I'm a dandelion with the oh shit. Yeah, Erica, this was yours. I was waiting for you to comment that. Yep. Andrew, I could see this as well. I have a little dandelion in me. I do shoot from the hip without plan, and I thrive on cash injections. I always felt like I just kept lucking into all of this. So let's talk about the difference between a surfer and a dandelion, because they're kind of similar. The biggest thing with the dandelion is you can follow through, like with your model calls or whatever. You do find some success, so you know if you should be a long launcher or a short launcher. You can feel that. You just kind of spiral. You just kind of spiral and let the ideas fizzle out instead of planting the seed and nurturing and going for it. The surfer, let's go back to the surfer. You've got ideas, but like the timing is wrong. You're trying to extra long it, you're trying to make it super short. You're launching when your audience is not resonating at all. So you've ghosted your audience and you haven't done any type of pre-education, you haven't done any connecting, and then you're like, let's go model call. And it's crickets. And you're like, why is nobody booking? Well, because you haven't connected. You've been out surfing the waves and you haven't connected. Whereas the dandelion is very magnetic. You can turn on your engagement, you can turn on your charm like that. You've got more of a warm audience. So you can drop something, but then you don't know how to build that momentum. It's like quick. It's like, have a successful launch and then I'll pull out and float in the wind, and you don't know where you're going next. Okay. Spiraling is my middle name. There you go. I had to figure out some new names for these, because at one point I was like, yeah, the spiral, or like the mindset Manny who just gets stuck in their mindset and goes down and doesn't. I was like, okay, we got to make these a little prettier, but that's it. It's the okay, Erica, pre-education was my weakness. Now I'm getting better. It's like, yeah, you'll jump in as the surfer and drop an audience thing, but you haven't done any nurturing. Okay, so I feel like we have a lot of dandelions. You guys are good at making money. You know how to create an offer, but there is no plan to go next. There are no roots that need time to plan. You're just kind of like floating. You're trying to be a one night stand when you do want some direction. Does that make sense? You're not one night standy enough to just free ball it and to just be crazy and wild all the time, because there is part of you that craves that gardener, that craves that nurture. So my suggestion, if you're a dandelion, make a 3-month marketing plan with spaciousness. So give yourself time to come up with those creative ideas, but also give yourself a long-term goal. Because if you are a dandelion trying to be a one-night stander, it's going to cause you panic and scarcity, because you're going to be like, wait, when's that next idea going to come? When's that next idea going to come? Oh shit. Oh shit. I don't have a plan. I don't have my next idea. Where the one night stander doesn't even have to think about their next idea. They're just like, there it is. Here we go. Give yourself room to nurture and grow. Dandelion definitely speaks to the generator in me. I'm also a D personality, so this resonates. How does the surfer plan go again? Okay, so let's go back to surfer. So this would be managing your own times. It might be if you're somebody who has a menstrual cycle, to go with your cycle. If you're in a rest zone, you wouldn't launch anything then. You would do more connection-based engagement in your group. If you are like on a high, you're riding the waves, this would be creating a plan of what to do after the launch is over, what to do after after you've made your cash injection money, okay? So the surfer, you really have to understand your go times and your slow time, the ebbs and flow of business. So now, is there anybody who's like, yeah, none of these are really resonating. I'm still waiting. I've got you. I was thinking it lined up with the manifestor in me. And I think the dandelion can float. I mean, well, I literally said it floats. Like you can kind of bounce around. Sometimes you're a gardener and you nurture. Sometimes you're a one night stander. Sometimes you're a surfer. The thing about the dandelion is you're everything. Consider this little piece right here, these little bits and pieces of you. You've got a little bit of everybody in you, which is what makes you so magnetic and amazing. You just need to plant those roots and grow. Okay. So let's go into our last one. Hello, this is Planner Polly. So Planner Polly, she's this like fake smile, thumbs up, life is great. And then in reality, she's like, FML, I don't know what I'm doing in my business. I hate this. And the reason Planner Polly is so sad is because she's a rule follower. She won't pivot. It's this cycle of frustration. You're just clinched in on what the rule book says. Now, the thing with being an entrepreneur is there is no such thing as a rule book. There's going to be a bunch of different guides and things out there that'll tell you what to do that might have worked for them, but you got to find the thing that works for you. So you have to be able to pivot and take bits and pieces from here and there and everywhere to turn it into your magic sauce. If not, you're in this cycle of like, doing the 6 weeks of Black Friday launching and it's just burning me out and I hate it. I'm doing a model call every 3 months and it's just still not working. When maybe your audience isn't adrenaline based at all. So Planner Polly needs to ditch the plan. Let it go. Have some fun. Be a surfer. Ride the wave. Try new things. If you're a Planner Polly right now, that's the best case scenario because you get to play. You get to try whatever you want. It's an open book. Erica says, this is not me at all. I'm not a rule follower. This is not me. I would die a slow death if I tried to be Planner Polly. Andrea said, this is me. I'm still trying to figure it out. Yes. So Andrea, this is what we get to do. We get to break the rules. You get to pivot and have fun. You get to ditch the plan and say, I'm just going to do what feels good today. Maybe you make a 4-month marketing plan or you try one thing and then the next and you manage your expectations so you're not just following the rules, you're making your own. That's the key. You don't have to follow the rules, you just have to make your own. Joe says, not me, I never follow the rules. The one night stand and Planner Polly are the polar opposites of each other. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, yeah, you guys can like have a group chat of like your little like business industry friends, but don't let that impact your energy because you'll have Planner Polly over here telling you to do one thing, and then you'll have the one night stand over here, and then you'll have a surfer and the gardener and the dandelion. Everybody's saying, no, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You should do it like this. When you've got to be aware enough to harness your own energy and figure out what works for you. As soon as someone tells me it's a rule, I show them how to break it. Yes. Crystal says, I have no idea. I feel like a shit mix of all of them. Then you're probably a little dandelion. So you've got a little Planner Polly in you. You've got, some surfers in you. So that brings me to here. Who are you guys? Who do you feel like you resonate the most with? In the comments, do a final decision. Are you the gardener who really likes to plan things? You like a long launch. It's slow and steady. You like to nurture. You plan it way in advance. Are you a one night stand? You can nurture your audience and have something whipped out in a week, start to finish. You mic drop, you're moving on to the next thing. You may have 4 offers in a month, but it doesn't feel overwhelming and it doesn't feel confusing to your audience. Are you the surfer? You're not quite sure when to launch. You might have a good idea and then you do it, but you felt like you did it at the wrong time, and then you feel like you wasted the wrong idea or a good idea at the wrong time. So you're up and down, up and down. You'll have a good launch, you'll have a flop. You'll have a good launch, you'll have a flop. Are you the dandelion out floating? You can make money really fast, but it feels like you lucked into it. You need some plans. Are you Planner Polly? Or you're just kind of frustrated. because you're doing things the way you always have and you haven't pivoted. So let's see. Take our votes. One night stand. Stephanie says I took surfer lessons last year. I'm totally a beach babe. I feel like you are. I feel like the surfer is you. Dandelion, definitely spread myself out, not to be put in a box. I'm a one night stand the most, but I need to learn how to follow through. Can I be a dandelion gardener? Absolutely. You can be a dandelion who likes to float free, and then the gardener who likes to nurture. Caitlin's a surfer. Andrea, I'm a planner poly, but heading towards the surfer. Crystal says I'm a fucking dandelion. One night stand, it's the lack of impulse control for me, always chasing the dopamine. Yes. So none of these are inherently negative. They all have really good qualities. So here's my next question. What do you want to embrace? Out of your archetype, what is now your strength? So for the one night stand for myself, my strength is I will never run out of ideas. I don't have to pressure myself into doing a marketing map. People will ask me and dominate, like, what's your marketing map? I'm like, don't have one. Sure, that looks great for you if that lights you up, but I don't have one. I just know that I have other ideas. Your surfer strength could be you can do both. You can do quick launches and long launches, and you have great ideas. We just got to narrow down that timing. Planner Polly, what's your strength? Once you find something that works, you are committed. So that's the thing. Planner Pollys have great commitment. So once you're in a launch, you don't back out too soon because you said you were going to do it, and Planner Polly does that. Okay? So what is your strength and what are you embracing? Erica's embracing a generator. That's her superpower. Joe's feeling okay to keep putting out multiple ideas and not feeling like you're doing too much. Crystal says, I'm a magnet. I just need to plan a bit more. Yes. Utilize your strengths. Utilize your magnetism, okay? So, who wants to get into when to launch the things? Now that we've kind of uncovered what your archetype is, what you're doing, who's excited to be like, okay, Kiera, but when do I actually do this? That's what we're getting into next. So here's phase 2 of the workshop. I'm just realizing that I'm magnetic and people want to hear from me. Absolutely. All right, when to launch. Reminder 1, nobody's thinking about your business like you are, which sucks to hear. But nobody wakes up in the morning thinking about Kiera Josette Artistry except for myself. And that's beautiful. Why? Because they're going to forget what you did 2 weeks ago. So no, it's not too soon to launch something else, which can also work to our disadvantage. If you're only showing up once a week and that's your marketing plan, they're going to forget about you. I'm not saying you have to show up 20 times a day, but I am saying recognize what season of business you're in. Do you want to be in a season of visibility and growth? Show up and have fun. Don't let people forget about you. Wear some crazy glasses. Wear a leather corset and do a Facebook Live. Have fun with it. People have TikTok brain. That's a real thing. Okay? People have TikTok brain. They're on to the next thing. So if you are launching the same boring Christmas and July sale, Black Friday sale every 6 months, they don't care. You got to work on our positioning. If we're doing the same anniversary sale, if we're doing the same birthday model call on Kiera's birthday every single year, they're going to get bored. People have TikTok brain. They want that next new thing. So let's work on your positioning. It could be the same offer as your Christmas and July sale. For example, a couple years ago, I did Christmas and July. It was great. Everybody else does that. Every other boudoir photographer across the world does that in July. Every other industry does that, a Christmas and July sale. So what did I do? The day before Amazon Prime Day, I did Kiera Day. It was the same offer as a Christmas and July sale. It was still in July. But I used my marketing instead of Prime Day, do Kiera Day. And it was a hit. Same discount, same offer, but it was new enough. It was new branding. It was the newness to grab their attention because people are like this. They have TikTok brain. They want that next new thing. So instead of my big empowered AF week, should I switch it up this year? We can dig into that in your private, but if it's something you normally do and it's a plus, it works until it works. and then it doesn't, and you get to like flip-flop it. So work on your positioning, get creative in your marketing. People get immune to it. So the same thing comes for client testimonies. If you guys are posting the same client testimonial graphic with like 5 stars in the Google review, they'll stop reading it. They'll just assume that it's a testimony and they won't actually sit and read the words. And I covered this in Brandamp. If you guys are in Dominate, you can watch it in Brandamp. Spice it up. Use some different colors every now and then. Do a different format. I think what Kiera is up to every day, maybe I should focus that energy on my own business. Literally, yeah. Yep. Somebody was like, somebody reached out and they were like, hey, I want to do this thing. And I sent them the link to sign up. And they were like, actually, we've decided to go a different direction. Thanks so much. I was like, cool. 2 weeks later, I found out they were copying and pasting everything from my group to their group and trying to market with that. And I was like, that's cute. You know, you could pay to figure out how to do it your own way, but instead you're just going to copy my way. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Your best friend, your business bestie, your mentor, your neighbor down the street, what works for them will be great, but it's figuring out what's going to work to you. Okay. So people do get immune. So don't call it the same thing. Even if it's the same model call it something else. Neon Nights instead of neon model call. Neon Nights, an exploration into your wild party girl that you've locked away after motherhood, marriage, whatever it may be. See how easy that was to position something differently? That sounds more fun. That sounds inviting. So we want to infuse your creative abilities into your marketing. We're so creative in the studio. You're so creative with editing and posing. Your marketing gets to be this creative too, I swear. You get to have fun with it. It doesn't just have to be a, what do I say? What do you want to say? Who are you calling in? You're not just a creative when the camera's in your hand. So back to, when do we launch it? Let's identify. The first step in when you want to launch something is identify what type of launch you're doing, okay? So if your audience is adrenaline based, it means they're good, they're fast, they're ready to go. That would be a flash sale. If your audience is more nurture based, that would be a model call where they have to apply and be chosen. And then you want to identify, is this a broad theme where a bunch of people could apply and you could basically just, you're doing it to get butts and seats? Or is this a narrow themed, like a niched offer where it could be like the bondage theme? Not everybody's going to want the bondage theme. So you may book less because not everybody's into bondage. Not everybody's into glitter baths or whatever it may be. So notice if you're doing a broad theme offer or a niche theme offer. Okay. So that's step 1 and 2. Joe says, I swear my audience switches every week and I can't seem to figure it out. It's not that nothing's working. What if it seems like nothing is working? Then we got to try again. Then you got to pivot again. Because you just had a really big launch not too long ago, and then you're like, oh, it's not working. No, they've just switched. They do switch. It will switch back and forth. So we have been nurture-based for years, and then this last couple session was adrenaline-based, and I had no idea. We just have to throw it out there and try. Is there a sign for what your audience is? There is. It's not a sign, but it's a test. So you do 2 offers. You do one nurture-based and one adrenaline-based and have them be the same type of thing. So don't do one adrenaline-based niched offer and then one nurture-based broad theme. You want to do 2 of the same. So for example, let's take the easiest ways to do broad theme. Let's take a no theme, no release required model call. So let's say it's a model call just to test out your new creative abilities. That's how you would position it to your audience. Like, hey, I got a new camera. I've got these new ideas. Come be creative with me. You don't have to sign a release and there is no theme. I'm just going to be artistic. Apply here. You see how many applications you get. You see how many convert to sales. And then like 2 weeks later, you do a no theme, no release flash sale where they don't have to apply. They simply have a limited amount of time. They just click the link and book the consult, or they click the link and buy. Does this make sense? You take the same offer, You sell it both. Actually, Felicia's doing this right now. She is doing a bear model call. That was her theme, like bear, like nudes, no hair, makeup, just come as you are. We launched it first as an application based, and then a few days later, we switched it to a flash sale link. You can do both. You can have a going at the same time. You can have a link going for them to apply. So all of those babes who want to apply for it can apply and have the, ooh, I feel chosen. But you can also have a flash sale link to just go ahead and pay and book it and see which converts the most. It quite literally is testing it out and trial and error. Yeah, okay, so Joe, yours been adrenaline then. So what you want to do of recognizing when to launch something is to identify what kind of launch it is. Is it adrenaline? Is it broad theme? Is it niched? Is it serve or is it sell? So let's get into that. Let's get into serve versus sell. So a serve would be like a giveaway. Like you're giving away an Amazon gift card. You're doing an add a friend. Here's a Venmo for $100 or whatever. A serve would also be a ladies' night. Like you're doing an event. Here is a low ticket offer for a ladies' day event where you come to the studio. We do the paint your butt and canvas type thing. That is considered a serve. You're giving them time and attention and energy. The Easter egg giveaway that we all did, most of us, that was a serve because you're serving your community by giving more discounts and opportunities to work with you. So here's the caveat. Serving can still be selling something like a ticket to the Easter egg or a ticket to the ladies' day, but the more grand view of it is like you're serving them. Or are you selling? Are you selling? Is it a promotion? I've tried all the things lately. Am I just going crazy? Well, no, you had a beautiful thing in the group the other day, and then you said you chickened out and you didn't launch it. So you're not trying all the things. Go for it. Launch your throwback theme. That was amazing. And momentum. Keep it going. Let's try again. Figure out your foundation so that you're not rebuilding the back end every single time and you are moving with that idea. And also looking at your timing of, are you in a rest zone for yourself or are you in go mode? So and nobody can tell you that. You have to tap into yourself of like if you're in push mode or if you're in pullback mode. And pullback mode looks more like pre-education, serving, nurturing. I feel like I have a huge mix of both in my group. I do well with both options when I keep my energy behind it. And you'll have that. If you have a big group, you'll have a split group. So don't be afraid to try both. And I have a timeline, like a sample timeline written out on the next page, and you'll see what that looks like. So serving could also look like a virtual ladies' night. Like maybe you hire someone to do tarot card readings in your group as like a ladies' night event. That's another way to serve. And then selling is dropping a promotion, flash sale, model call, guinea pig, whatever it may be. So let's look at a sample timeline. So short answer, there is no specific time frame of when to launch. It's going to depend on these factors. And you can even save this. You're going to look at, okay, is it adrenaline or nurture? Because you don't want to do two things back to back. I would not do a nurture model call and then another nurture model call back to back. I would mix it up and I would do, let's do a nurture model call. And then let's go serve the group and do a virtual ladies' night. And then let's do some pre-education and then do an adrenaline something. Or do a nurture model call and then adrenaline flash sale for one day, like 2 weeks apart. You got to mix it up. The key is to not do the same thing back to back to back to back to back because that's when it becomes redundant. Even if you're nurture based, throw in some adrenaline quickie offer to get those adrenaline people. I just did an offer for a mini with a crazy low interest fee, but the sales have been so low. I'm so frustrated. This is why I don't offer low session fees. And that's another thing, like recognizing who you're attracting is if it doesn't work for you, don't do that. If you're only catering to those low end positioning, then look into your marketing of like, who are you speaking to? Are we positioning this as, hey, it's so cheap because it's so small, come get in? That's what we're going to attract versus the transformation of like, what are you going to feel after this? How is this going to help you in your now? Takes a lot of energy for me to be in go mode. I don't understand. That's why I have a huge energy jumps after a launch. I would really look into like holistically your body because a lot of the time there's something of like if we're pouring into parenthood or if our cycle is off or something like that, we're pushing against the grain instead of going. When you are a well-nourished, hormonally balanced, like, human, you should have some type of energy. Now, there's going to be so many outside factors, of course, like, mothers were not sleeping, et cetera, et cetera. If you can give yourself the space to feel good and work with those energies, and then also just recognize you may just be in a tough season of, like, things do feel harder when we have littles, or if we're going through a business transformation, or like new employees, losing employees, shifting focus, a new area. There are different seasons. So that's why it's so important to recognize like what your archetype is back here so that you can surf through and you can recognize your timing. And understanding your go times means resting when it's rest. So if there is no rest, your go times aren't going to exist. So there may be a part of you that's like, I can't rest, I need the money. Resting doesn't mean, here, listen to this, everybody. Resting does not mean you're not marketing. It simply means you're doing the bare minimum. Not the bare minimum, but the basics, the pre-education, the showing up, the building connection. So resting does not mean you're not working, because we do have to work to create a business, right? Drop in the comments if this makes sense. Resting simply means you're not surging your visibility, you're not showing up extra, and you're not creating something brand new. A rest period is organic marketing, easy, flowing, the things you would normally do to book regular sessions. Yes, resting is not just one. Yes, okay, you needed that. I wanted to clarify, like, resting does not mean you're ghosting your business. It means you're doing the daily work, your non-negotiables, and you're not creating something new. You're not pushing. I think also we have to realize that pushing doesn't have to be bad. Pushing gets to be fun. It's like, we're excited. Let's go. Let's push. It's fun. So if you're, well, let's use mental health, for example. If you're in a depressive state, if you're in like a low point, I wouldn't push something. If you're having a manic episode and it feels good, I'm speaking from like personal experience of like, I'm in go mode. Let's go run with it. And then if you need to go into hibernation, like do it. It's okay. Use your non-negotiables and use your regular marketing of like pre-education, talking about your studio, talking about you, talking about why to do boudoir versus the nitty-gritty launch material that we do. I have struggled with this because I want to rest and I just unplug and then I have to restart. So the other thing is reminding yourself that schedule in your rest. Give yourself a week off just to unplug for real. And you could even tell your group, like, hey, I'm doing a mental health break. I'll see you guys in 3 days. Schedule your rest in. That way you don't feel behind and you know it's coming. Okay, so just organic marketing for me takes lots of work and energy for me. So I think there should be working on getting a consistent flow of that first. I think there's a reframe needed here that you are a business, so it does require lots of work. And that's just the fact, right? I mean, we are a business, so it does take work. And it's giving yourself a schedule that will allow that work to be easier. And this has been this doesn't have to do with launching, but business in general. Once I created a schedule and gave myself the space to work, the work did become easier because I granted myself that space. So if we're in a season where you guys don't have the capacity to dedicate time to your business, it is going to feel harder versus if you have set business hours or set work hours. Yeah, being an entrepreneur is 1,000 times harder than being an employee, and it is. But it gets to be fun. It doesn't have to burn you out, but there is a mental reframe of like, it does require work. And it's not always just fun taking pretty pictures. Like, there are set boundaries and timelines and times where I would much rather be outside on a nice day instead of working on ordering albums and then prepping my audience for the next day of content or whatever it may be. So really coming to that understanding too is like, where can I give myself the space so that when I do show up to launch, it feels fun. It feels good because I gave myself that spaciousness. We have to be able to give ourselves the space to work, to do the work. Okay, so let's look at like a sample timeline for a one-night stand. These are just sample dates, you guys. You can mix and match. And I want you to recognize that just because what I'm doing on May 1st and 3rd doesn't mean I'm doing nothing on May 4th and 5th. So the dates that you don't see, I'm connecting, I'm engaging, I'm doing regular organic marketing. These are just the bigger launches. So here's an example of a one night stand or a dandelion. I really think this could lean more dandelion too. So May 1st through the 3rd, she's going to launch a guinea pig offer, which is like a niche themed something. So what would that offer be? I'm going to launch a live session model. Okay. And you'll see why I do this. So May 1st, I drop an offer. Hey group, I need one babe who's willing to come in and do a live session for me right here in our VIP group. I'll give you, 500 off collections and a $199 discounted session fee if you come model. This was not made to book 6 people. So recognizing what type of launch you're doing, this was a very niche themed offer. It's a live session model needed, okay? So then the following week, May 6th through the 10th, so this is 3 days, or 1 if you book it the first day. May 4th and 5th, you're doing your regular non-negotiables, you're doing your regular pre-education. May 6th and 10th, we're doing a giveaway. Maybe it's Add a Friend Friday, and then you give away whoever adds the most. But for this example, we're going to do a virtual ladies' night. On one of these dates this week, I'm going to have a tarot reader come in and pull cards for the group, and that's my serve, okay? So you'll see right here, first of the month I sold. So that was my sell. Then I'm going to serve with a ladies' night. And the following week, I'm going to serve again from the sell that I did at the beginning of the month. So this is a live session. So I'm serving my audience. Everybody gets to watch a live session. So there's week 1 of May, week 2 of May, week 3 of May. So we've got sell, serve, serve, boom. We're going to sell again. That next week in May, because May ends up with like 5 weeks because it starts in a week with April. So May 20th, surprise, surprise. Girlfriend just did a live session on the 17th, which means on the 18th, the 19th, and the morning of the 20th, I am rebumping that live. I am engaging. I'm building connections. I'm making sure the whole group has watched this live session. And then that morning, a broad, no themed application based model call. Why am I doing it application based? This is under the assumption that your group is nurture. If they weren't nurture based and they're adrenaline, I would do a flash sale right here. So let's break it down. Why am I doing this? I just launched an offer on May 1st. Well, guess what? There's been 2 full weeks in between there. Everybody's forgotten about this. I've done 2 serve moments in between. The first one was a niched offer. This one is a wide offer. So I'm open to booking 5 people. I'm open to booking 6. I'm open to booking 7. You see what I mean? So there's 2 selling moments. There's 2 different promotions in May, but they're very easy. This is going to be a full-blown, full-ass launch on May 20th. This May 1st through the 3rd, that's just going to be a couple little posts. It's just going to be an offer. It doesn't have to be huge. I'm not going to make an application. I'm just going to have them email me. I'm just going to have them DM me, whatever it is you want. And then you're going to serve. You're going to serve again by showcasing that live session, May 20th. You do a broad application base, and then boom, June 3rd. This is a great way right here. You can see May 20th and June 3rd, I'm testing my audience because I do a no theme application base. And then the next week I do a flash sale, and the flash sale will book any of the people who didn't jump on the application based. So you're getting your nurture people and you're getting your adrenaline, or you can flip flop it. Or if you sell out during this, don't do the flash sale and just go back to organic marketing. Does this make sense? So what about June for adrenaline? Okay, I just covered that. Yeah. So if you do adrenaline here, go do another niched offer, like an adrenaline base, 1 day only. I need a wild woman to come test out my new scene. That's what I would do. How does this make you guys feel when you see a timeline laid out? Does this help connect the dots of what to launch when? So really, whenever it feels good. It depends on if you're a dandelion. It depends on when you're a surfer. But there's no such thing as launching too much, as long as it's a different thing. So yeah, if you're launching a model call every week, absolutely not. Your audience will be like, she does this all the time, I'll just wait. But if you're spacing things out, and here's the other example. If you are a gardener or if you are a surfer and you have built-in rest zones, this date may extend. Your very first offer, or let's say you're broad no theme, maybe that extends for 2 weeks. Maybe you're extending this longer. So, if you're a different archetype than a one night stand or a dandelion, this would work really great for a dandelion to plant those roots. Play with the dates. I was just doing a one night stand has a shorter launch time. If you're somebody who needs to plan and wants something longer, extend the dates but follow the flow. So it's like a serve, serve, sell. It's a niched versus broad, niched versus broad. You're giving opportunities for every type of client that you have in your audience. Does that make sense? Why you would break it up? Because if you're just doing application-based model calls every 3 months, you're missing out on people who are ready to buy now. Not everybody's application-based. Not everybody wants a gold flake goddess session. Super helpful. I really like seeing the timeline. This helps so much. I've never structured with a timeline, only a calendar, and I hate that. Spacing them out and presenting it differently. That is the key. Knowing your launch archetype. So knowing like, fuck no, Kiara, May 1st through 3rd, and then something on May 20th is way too close together for me. I can't do it like that. Noticing how long you need to prep and plan. You can also sit here and identify that, no way, Kiara, it's already April 25th. May 1st is next week. I need more time to prep that for my own sanity. So push it out. Give yourself enough time to prep and then give yourself enough time to plan. I'll include the slides to this, you guys. So if you want to like screenshot this as a cheat sheet, I'll give you the Canva slides to this so you can see that. Yay, Crystal, you didn't miss too much, so you'll be good. Sample timeline, does that feel good? Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, let me stop sharing for a second to see your faces and to see how we're feeling. Okay, so now, how do you feel that we've redone what launching means? It does not have to feel scary. You do not have to have your expectations. If you guys hopped on late, I'll have the replay sent out to your email so you can catch up with the beginning of this. But launching doesn't have to feel scary. It doesn't have to be stressful. Joe says, now I feel like I need to redo my launch for my minis. If you feel like you need to redo something, that could be really helpful because you're identifying how you need to respond to your audience and how you need to present versus just being like, oh my gosh, don't know what I'm doing. So we've rewired our expectations. We've re-navigated who you are, how you can show up as a launcher, which will be really, really helpful. Questions for me before we dive in? Do you feel good with your launch archetypes? Do you feel good with making a plan? I'm going to put this back so we can see this. Notice if you're a thriver and a floater in your dandelion phase, where you need to map it down. If you're a planner poly, break the rules. When to launch, it really is going to depend on the type of thing you're launching. Don't be afraid to switch things up. Don't do the same thing over and over and over again. You want to serve, serve, then sell. A lot of times you feel burnt out because we're just selling, and it's just pounding them in the face. If you don't want to serve, that's fine, but at least give it a week or so of refresh, of breathing, just regular organic marketing. Give yourself space to organically market your business. You don't always have to have a promotion going. Remember, launching is still just showing up for your business. So maybe you don't launch a new promotion that day, but you do launch a date that you have on your calendar. You could say, hey, November 17th is still open. If you feel like, stripping down, gaining some confidence, doing your thing, come see me here. It doesn't have to be any type of discount. It's just showing up between. And then the key to this is in between each launch, make sure you're doing your regular organic marketing on these in between dates. Feel fun? Thumbs up. Do we love it? Does this help give you a mental breakdown of where you can be and where you can be standing up for your own business so you don't feel like you're in this chaotic circle? Yay. I love it. Amazing. Okay. That is Launch Lust. Understanding your archetypes, understanding where you're at. Dominate people. This will go into your modules tonight. I'm going to render the recording and upload it And then if you guys are not in Dominate, this will be sent out on your replay as an email. That way you can have it. You'll have lifetime access to this. You can rewatch it as many times as you want. Now I'm going to tell you guys my secret before I go announce it to the world. You want first dibs on the secret? Okay. So this is great. If you, yay, Joe says yay. If you guys didn't get into Dominate or Prox, I guess if you are in Dominate and you just want extra gear, you could do this too, but not required. Launch League. I opened up a mini mind. Starts May 15th. This is for anybody who just really wants to come get snugly close with me and have me map out your launches. So it's going to be a small group. I'm going to cap it at like 8 to 10 people. It'll start May 15th. It's 21 days. You're going to have a weekly live Zoom call, hot seat coaching. So basically, we're going to take your launch idea that you identified from Launch List and put it into motion. I'm going to give you all your content ideas. I'm going to help you with pricing. I'm going to help you timeline wise. Like, we're going to flesh out your entire launch. So that way in June, you can go into June with a whole launch plan done for you. It's like a little mini mastermind, basically. So there will be a live call. It's 21 days. So like I think that equals out to 3 weeks. Each week we'll have a live Zoom call together. You're going to have 5 modules with lifetime access. So I've got 5 courses already that you'll get, and those are in Dominate, but it'll give you lifetime access. So magnetize your message, brand amp, Launch List, which means you can apply your Launch List fee to that. It's going to be 5 things to help you completely go into that. You'll have lifetime access. You can do whatever you want. And then a daily content broadcast. So every day for the 21 days, I'm going to pop into Voxer and give you guys content ideas on what you can do for your launch, how to position it. Here's what to post. It's going to be this cool little mix of like some parts of Dominate, some parts of Content Bootcamp, like new and revived, and also the mastermind vibe of me and you, and then 8 to 10 other people, like fleshing out your offer, helping you tap into your launch archetype. Eric says, so that's Launch League. You guys can DM me if you want first dibs. I'll probably launch it publicly tonight to the rest of the world, but it'll be like small group fun, powerful, intimate, just so you guys can expand on this. Just as I definitely want daily content ideas. It'll be good. So that's all I've got. Just wanted to put that there to answer any questions. Consider Launch List like this was your appetizer. Launch League is like superhero vibes, like powerful go. It is fast paced. So I'm just going to warn you now, if you feel like you are not in a position to like go balls to the wall, like if you're in like a hibernation zone, I wouldn't do Launch League. I would just keep your Launch List in your back pocket to when you are in go mode. But otherwise, I'm going to go render this. I'm going to go get it up into our dashboards. You'll get an email for the replay. And otherwise, I will see you guys, well, soon if you're in Dominate and Prox and BTS. And if not, then next month is my birthday and we'll have a bunch of fun birthday bash ideas that I can't tell what it is yet, but it'll be fun. So that's a wrap. Thank you so much for doing Launch List, and I will see you guys later.